Welcome to Public Palika, a short recap of electoral politics and representative democracy in India. The rise of electoral politics and representative democracy in India represents one of the most ambitious experiments in large-scale popular governance the world has known. From the ashes of colonial rule and the complexities of a diverse population, India has not only pioneered the democratic process at scale, but also contributed uniquely to the global discourse on democracy's meaning, practice, and resilience.
From colonial subjection to democratic aspiration, the colonial context. British colonial rule in India imposed bureaucratic centralization and occasional, limited experiments with electoral bodies, such as the Indian Councils Acts and limited franchise reforms after the 1909 Morley-Minto reforms and the 1935 Government of India Act. However, these were designed for imperial interests, not self-governance or genuine representation. Indian leaders and reformers, drawing inspiration from local Panchayat traditions and global democratic thought, advocated for genuine self-rule. Ideological roots. Indian freedom struggle movements, particularly under the leadership of the Indian National Congress, embedded values of deliberation, mass mobilization, and electoral participation. Figures like Mahatma Gandhi, Jawaharlal Nehru, B.R. Ambedkar, and others reimagined Indian political identity around notions of universal suffrage and grassroots participation well before independence.
Democratic design, the constitutional blueprint, universal adult franchise. When the Indian Constitution was drafted, its framers made a then radical decision. Every adult citizen would have the right to vote, regardless of caste, religion, gender, or literacy. At independence in 1947, this made India the world's largest democracy by electorate, affirming faith in the wisdom of the masses, rather than minorities of wealth, status, or education. Federalism and representation. India's constitutional apparatus created a complex, multi-layered system of representation. Lok Sabha and state assemblies. Direct elections for both central and state legislatures. Rajya Sabha and federal balance. Indirect representation to balance state interests at the national level. Scheduled castes and tribes. Reserved constituencies to ensure historically marginalized groups' participation. Panchayati Raj. Deepening grassroots democracy. Inspired by traditional village councils, the post-independence Panchayati Raj system, especially after the 73rd and 74th constitutional amendments, 1992 to 93, created a vibrant tier of local self-governance across rural and urban India. These amendments institutionalized regular democratic elections at the village, block, and district levels, involving millions of elected representatives, of whom over a third are women, due to mandated reservations.
Electoral politics in action, evolution and challenges. Early decades, one-party dominance to pluralism. The first general elections, 1951 to 52, were a logistical marvel and global inspiration, conducted in a largely illiterate rural society with an effort to register and reach every eligible voter. The Congress Party dominated initial decades, but electoral competition, regional parties, and civil society soon established a framework for plural and robust contestation. Coalition politics and federalization. By the late 20th century, India witnessed the decline of single-party dominance, a rise in coalition governments, notably after 1989, and a strengthening of regional parties. This shift reflected and reinforced India's pluralism, allowing for more nuanced representation and empowering state-level leadership. Expanding participation. Women's leadership. India's electoral system has produced numerous women leaders at all levels, from panchayat chiefs to state chief ministers and the highest constitutional offices. Marginalized voices. Reservation policies have improved the descriptive representation of Dalits, tribal communities, and other marginalized groups, gradually, though not perfectly, shifting the political mainstream. Technology and regulation. Innovations such as electronic voting machines, EVMS, transparent campaign spending rules, and real-time disclosure systems have modernized the conduct of elections. Persistent challenges. Despite achievements, electoral politics in India faces daunting issues. Electoral violence, money power, communal polarization, and vote-buying tarnish campaign periods. Electoral bonds and opaque funding have prompted concerns about transparency. The first-past-the-post system, while promoting stability, sometimes results in disproportionate outcomes or winner-take-all politics.
India's contribution to democratic ideology, faith in universal franchise and inclusion, India's embracing of universal adult suffrage at a scale and diversity unmatched, demonstrated that democracy was neither alien nor unsuited to non-Western, poor, or illiterate societies, that a continent-sized nation could empower all citizens to participate in self-government inspired and continues to inspire newer democracies in Asia, Africa, and beyond. Pluralism and accommodation. India's model underscores a democratic philosophy that accepts and manages, rather than eradicates, diversity. The Indian practice of coalition building, linguistic and religious federalism, and competitive but peaceful contestation has influenced global democratic theory on pluralism and power sharing. Electoral engineering and social justice institutional innovations, reserved constituencies, affirmative action, and local governance have shown that democracy can be designed for inclusion, not just competition. India's commitment to seat reservations for marginalized groups is a living experiment in reconciling liberal democracy with social justice, a debate that reverberates worldwide. Civilizational dialogue. Indian democracy is not a mere transplantation of Western liberalism. Rather, it is informed by older traditions of deliberative councils, sabhas, consensus decision-making, and community panchayats. These indigenous forms, adapted and hybridized, have contributed to an evolving global understanding of what democracy is and can be.
Conclusion: a work in progress. The journey of electoral politics and representative democracy in India is far from finished. While marred by the same turbulence and imperfections that beset any large democracy, India's democratic experience remains one of the world's great social and political experiments. Its contribution lies not only in showing that vast, complex societies can be governed democratically, but in continuously pushing the boundaries of inclusion, representation, and pluralism. India's choices and challenges in electoral practice have shaped the global discourse, offering both inspiration and caution to the ongoing evolution of democracy everywhere.
Up next, the current state and future of democracy, global and Indian perspectives.